Hi, lovely guys. Hi, Emma. Hi, Russ. Hi, Josephina. Nice to see you guys. Thanks for writing and just letting me know that you're there. Today is number 9, Flowing Brave for the playlist. So if you get ready for that one, chuck it on. And actually, we'll pause it for a minute because we'll do a little bit of breath work, actually. So if you do have a couple of blocks today, they might be useful. I'd recommend it if you do have 2, have them nearby because we're actually focusing a bit on hips today. So as you know, having blocks is really helpful. So if you place the block underneath your glutes and sit in your hero's pose, so your feet out to the sides and the block is just under my glutes here, it just takes some of the pressure off the knees. And we'll start the class with what is called Kalabatti or Breath of Fire. Because it's spring, I've got a fiery class for you today. So with Kalabatti Breath, we're going to exhale forcibly the air, and then when you relax the belly, you naturally will inhale. And you can do it through the mouth, which looks like shh, 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 shh. Or you can do it through the nose, which is a little harder, and you might find that doing it through the mouth is a lot easier for you. So through the nose looks like, so I'm pumping my belly, which you can't probably see because my top is down, but when I'm exhaling, my belly is going out and in, and that just creates a pumping and it really builds fire in the body. So we're going to be working with that Kalabatti breath today. 2 sets of 30. If you feel lightheaded, please stop and just breathe normally. So we'll take a big breath in to prepare, and then we'll do the exhale. So last one's a really long exhale, so that was 30, and a big breath in. Then hold the breath in for a moment. And let everything be soft. Might feel a little bit tingly, a little bit lightheaded sometimes if it's your first time. And a stillness. One more time, option through the nose. I'll do it through the mouth this time with you. So we're going to take a big breath in. And we're going to go shh, 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 shh. Exhale everything out of the lungs. Big breath in. Close the eyes, relax the shoulders, and hold the breath in. And just feel the softness and maybe the tingling or the quiet, the stillness. See how long you can hold that retention. And then take a breath and remove that block. Come into child's pose. You can press play on your playlist now if you wish. And meet me downstairs. Child's pose. Letting your hips sink back. And your knees can be wide on the mat. Forehead onto the floor and hands out in front of you. Taking a big breath in and focusing on something that you're hopeful in the future, something that brings you hope. Maybe a goal, maybe something you look forward to. And really focus on everything around that positive thoughts, that hope. Take one more big breath into the belly. And exhale, sigh it out. When you're ready, gently pushing up onto your hands and your knees into tabletop position. We'll tuck the toes and lift the knees up. So tilt the tailbone down, suck the belly in so the abdomen goes up towards the spine. We're going to squeeze the pelvic floor and the glutes and protract through the shoulders. So we're not just hanging out in the shoulders and coming down and sinking down through the chest. protraction is pushing into the floor and a slight rounding of that upper back. Now, option is to stay here, or you can actually lift that left foot up and down with control, and then the right foot up and down. If this is ever too much for your wrists, you can always come onto your elbows. We're going to step out with the left leg, long into plank. Everything stays still, and then the left foot steps in, and the right foot steps in. Lift up that right foot, extend back into plank, then the other leg. Gently bring that right foot in. Keep that knee raised off the floor. Whole body is still. Nothing moves. Left foot raises up. Exhale, knee to elbow. Really crunch it in. Hold it here. Keep protracting. Take it back. Breath in. Lift the right foot. Exhale, knee to elbow. Keep it into contact. Keep pushing into each other. Extend it back. Breath out. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, left knee, taps left elbow and back. Other side and back. Last level. Are you ready? Tap the left knee with the left elbow, down to the wrist, up to the elbow and back. I know it hurts. Hold it with me. Come onto elbows if you need. Exhale, right knee to elbow, down to wrist or to the floor. Back up, step it back, and then lower the knees. Give your shoulders a little shake out if you need to. Come onto your elbows, grab your biceps, dolphin. So coming into fiery shoulder workout already this morning or this evening. Don't even know what time it is. Look towards your feet. We're going to take a breath in and raise your right leg up. So flex the foot towards the shin. And we're going to inhale, lower the foot down, and exhale to rise. So we keep protracting through those shoulders. So push against the floor and look towards your feet. Inhale, lower. Exhale, rise. We have 3 more. Inhale, lower. Exhale, rise. Inhale, lower. Exhale. Last one. Now, option, lower the feet and come down into child's pose. Take a breath, or stay with me in strength, holding your dolphin. Left leg raises up, breath in. We have 5. Then we come down, exhale. Inhale, exhale to rise. Inhale, lower. Exhale up. Inhale, lower. Exhale up. Inhale, lower. Almost there. Last one. And exhale to rise. Bend the knees. Whew. Reach out forward. Child's pose. Hands together. Then bring the hands up over the head, between the shoulders, to stretch out the backs of your arms. Melt a little bit more into the mat on the exhale. Bring those elbows towards the top of the mat and sink a little deeper. That chest towards the floor. Release the fingers to the floor. Come up onto hands and feet. Make sure your hands are a little bit forward above your shoulders. Tuck your toes. Come into downward facing dog. So with your down dog, if you come into a plank, and make sure that everything's stacked, so shoulders over wrists, and then come back into a downward facing dog. So that's how long it should be. That's how you know you're in the right spot. Now you can see my legs are straight, but they definitely weren't always straight. So you can bend your knees and get that weight back into your legs and lift your heels up. For me, I've been doing it for a while, so this feels quite good. But when I started, I used to have bent knees a lot. Look between the hands and slowly come into a plank between the hands. And bring the hands in under the shoulders. Squeeze the glutes. Option to lower the knees onto the floor if this is too much on your wrists, or come onto your elbows. Protract through shoulders. Push up against the floor. Really strong through the core. Activate the glutes, so squeeze them together. Bring yourself forward onto your tippy toes. Bend at your elbows. Come down 1/4 of the way down. Like halfway to a tricep push-up. Another quarter down, hold. Another quarter down, hold, almost to the floor. And then all the way down. Inhale to baby cobra. So hands onto the shoulders. Roll the chest open. Neck is towards chest. Push tops of feet into the floor. Squeeze those glutes. Take your hands and just poke your glutes and make sure they're working. Beautiful. Maybe lift your feet up off the floor to make sure they're really activating. Hands come back down under your shoulders. Push up into an up dog if you feel ready. And exhale into a downward facing dog. Look between the hands, bend the knees, step or jump forward between the hands. Inhale to flat back and exhale to fold. Bend through the knees, slowly roll up. Hands come through heart center, reach tall. Exhale, hands come down. Close the eyes and focus on the body for a moment. Maybe a little smile comes to your face as you think about what you were hopeful for at the start of the class. If you couldn't think of anything then, maybe take a moment to think of something now. Something that brings you hope or excitement for the future. Once you have that thing, hold on to it. Breath in, hands up to sky. Breath out, folding forward. Breath in, halfway. Breath out, hands down, step or jump back into your high plank. Protract through shoulders, option to lower knees to the floor. Come forward and down, chaturanga. Option to come all the way down or just stop at 90 degrees in the shoulders and come into your upward facing dog. Option thighs are on the floor or thighs lift if you activate enough. Tuck the toes, push up and back, downward facing dog, pedaling out the legs. Connect back to the breath. If closing the eyes is helpful, close those eyes and focus on the sensation of your breathing. Look between the hands, option step or jump forward. Breath in, halfway lift. Breath out, hands to floor, bend the knees if you need. Inhale, bend through the knees, roll up, hands up. Exhale, folding forward. Breath in, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down, option step or jump with control back to high plank. You can lower the knees or come down full chaturanga or to 90 degrees or chaturanga push-ups or one-legged push-ups into inhale, upward facing dog and exhale, down dog. Pedaling out the legs. Breath out, sink through heels. Inhale, look between hands. Bend through the knees and exhale to jump forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, folding down. Sweep hands up. Roll up through spine. Breath in, reach high. Breath out to fold. Breath in, halfway. Breath out, hands to floor. Sweep hands behind you. Breath in, come into chair. Come deep into that booty. Tilt tailbone. Suck in the core, so we're not dumping into lower back. Now, if you do have padding for your knee, I recommend you get it now. So I'm going to get my padding. Place it halfway back because we're going to be putting our knee onto the mat. Exhale, hands down. Step back with the right knee, placing it on the floor. Breath in, reach up. Dragon wings. We're going to get claws with the hands and exhale. So you're pulling the elbows back, clawing with the fingers. Hips are coming forward and exhale through the mouth with the mouth open like a dragon. Hope your boyfriend's not watching you. How embarrassing. Exhale, hands to floor. Step back and flow. High to low. Breath in to come up. Breath out to down dog. Right leg forward, left knee down. Inhale to rise. Dragon fingers. Exhale. Hips are sinking forward. Activate through the toe and push through the front heel. So we're getting this beautiful hip opener. Exhale, hands down, untuck back toes, step forward, fold over thighs, breath out. Inhale, rolling up, hands through heart center, reach high, breath in. Exhale to fold. Breath in, halfway. Breath out, hands to floor, left leg back, lower knee down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, dragon. Option reach behind you, grabbing that back leg and bringing that foot in towards the body, just if that feels good. The more you lean forward, the more of an opening through your front quad. Gently lower that back knee, hands to floor, step back and flow. high to low. Breath in to come up. Breath out to out dog. Left knee steps forward. Right knee lowers. Breath in, rise up. Breath out, dragon. Lean forward with the hips. Maybe reach behind you, grab your back leg, pulling in foot to butts. Couple of breaths here. Last breath, hands to floor, step back and flow. High to low. Breath in to come up. Breath out to down dog. Stepping or jumping forward, inhale halfway, exhale fold. Inhale, hands up to sky, breath in. Breath out, hands down. Inhale halfway. Exhale, hands to floor, right foot steps back. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, dragon. Maybe reach behind you, grabbing the back foot. Just one breath. Exhale, let it go. Hands to floor, step back and flow. High to low. Breath in to come up. Always okay to lower the knees on the floor. Exhale to down dog. Right foot forward between the hands, left knee lowers. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, dragon. Reach behind you, maybe grab that foot. I love dragon breath because you really can just get rid of any of the thing that's been annoying you that day. Lower your back leg, untuck the back toes, step it forward, fold forward over the thighs. Take a few breaths here and let yourself hang over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Step or jump back, high plank, high to low. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, down dog. Right leg raises up. So Russell, I know this is your favorite one at the moment. So flex the foot and then bend the knee, open the hip. So with this one, the shoulders are actually even. The foot is going towards that right glute and the knee is going towards the roof. This might be your edge, or you might be able to flip over into flip dog onto your back and reach over the top of the head for a little back bend. Some of you might even be bendy enough to try wheel. I'm not going to do that today. Exhale, hands comes back. Inhale, right leg raises up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale to rise. Exhale, knee to left elbow. Hold for a minute. Not a real minute. Inhale, back up. Exhale, knee to opposite elbow. Inhale, back up. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Get deep into the lunge. We're going to try coming into scissors in a different way today. So we're going to try to get our right shoulder underneath our right knee. So the shoulder's coming under the knee. Some people are so bendy they can even get their head under, but that's not me. So you want to try and get that shoulder as much under the right knee as you can. Now you can start to bend through those elbows and you actually create this little shelf that your back hamstring can rest on, and maybe you can come into scissors from here. So it's a slightly different way of coming into scissors. A lot of people find it easier than the other way that I normally do it. Have a play. If that's not for you, just stay in a lunge. Inhale to rise up into crescent lunge. And exhale, dragon arms and lift that heel up, getting deep into that front leg. Inhale, rise the hands up. Exhale, hands to chest, get long through the chest. And then exhale over towards the right. So we're hooking our elbow around the outside of our thigh. And our hands are in prayer, or maybe fists together if that helps with less extension through the wrist. Relax left ear to left shoulder. If you have a bind, you can take it, only if that feels good and you know that that's something you like. And breathe. One more exhale. Then open up into warrior two. Binding the hands, straightening them behind you. Inhale, little back bend, so open the chest. Exhale into your humble warrior. So reaching over, hands come over the head, and the binded hands come over the top to open through shoulders. Try to get deeper into your hips, so bring your glutes in between your legs a little more, and your right shoulder is next to your right knee. on the inside of your leg if you can. I know it's tough. Stay with me, one more breath. Releasing the hands, placing them to support your face. Walking your left hand towards your left foot. Right hand on the inside of your thigh. Inhale to lengthen through spine and exhale to push that hip away, so it's a traction. So the knee's going towards the top of the mat. Your left hand is walking towards your left. You might know this one from Vicky's forest class. Whew. Hands to floor and gently roll up. Take it slow. Hands come back into warrior two. Extended side angle resting on the quad. Couple of options here if you want to take it. Hand to floor, work on opening the hips. It's a heavy hips class, sorry guys. Hands behind you, option for a bind. If you do have a bind, doesn't matter if you don't, you can just stay here and work on opening that top shoulder. If you do have it, come into your bird of paradise, stepping forward, and option to start to straighten the leg. The more that you open the shoulders and straighten out through the back, the easier you find the bind. To come down, bend through the knee, lower to floor, come into your extended side angle, hands frame the front foot, get into your deep lunge, step back and flow. Option to lower your knees and come down slowly, breath out. Breath in, upward facing dog, roll shoulders back, squeeze glutes. Exhale, tuck toes, push through heels, breath out, down dog. Walking through the legs, so pedaling through one leg and then the other. Someone said my classes have got a bit easy. So this is for you. Inhale, the left leg rises up. Bend through the knee, open the hip, stacking the hip. So the twist is not opening through the shoulders, it's a different movement. The shoulders are staying even and we're opening through the hip. So bring that left foot towards left glute and then left knee towards the roof. Option here, flip dog. So flipping over onto your back, knees stacked over ankles, reach forward, reaching over the head. Wild thing is always an option here too if you prefer that. Exhale, left hand comes down. Inhale, reach through that left leg. Exhale, knee to nose. Now with these ones, you can come onto your elbows if your wrists hurt, okay? Inhale to lengthen up. And exhale over towards right elbow. Hold for a moment. Inhale up. And exhale to left elbow. Hold. Inhale to rise. Exhale, sweep forward between hands. Get low into your lunge. Stay here. Left shoulder is coming underneath that left knee. So your option here is just to hang out here and move back and forward and see if you can get that left shoulder more underneath that left leg. Now, if you can, maybe you bend your elbows a lot and they rest on your body to create a little shelf. You can start to play with extending the legs out. I find this version harder, but a lot of people find it easier than the normal knee to nose one that I do. So have a play. And when you're done, come back into a normal low lunge, stacked under the body. Push through the heels, breath in, come up, crescent lunge. Exhale into dragon. Lift that front toe so the heel comes up. Exhale, bring the heel down, hand to heart. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist to the left. So the more that you twist, the easier it's going to be to bind. It's a little secret. So the more that you get long through the chest and twist through the belly, the less far your shoulders have to reach. Relax that neck as well. A bind isn't always possible for everybody either, so it's really good to stay in a twist until you feel like you want to start trying those. You don't have to. One more breath. Exhale, opening up into your warrior two. Bind the hands behind you. Inhale, straighten through the arms. Humble warrior, one of my least favorite poses. Reaching forward, and then bring that left shoulder on the inside of the left thigh to gently push it out. And then bring those hands over the head. So pushing down through the blade edge of the back foot and see if you can bring those hips under the body more, which gets more into the hips, and maybe lower the head a little closer to the ground. Stay active through your front quad, maybe lift the toes on the front foot, push through the heel. Whoo, yeah. Hands come down to frame the face. Give your legs a little break, take some of that weight, and walk your right hand towards your right foot. Your left hand goes into your left quad and then pushes it towards the front of the mat while you look towards your right leg and you're straightening your right leg. So this is a hip traction. So you're really pushing through that front left hip, getting length. It'll start to burn if it's the right spot. Gently releasing and coming up back to your warrior two. Extended side angle, resting on the front quad, raising that top hand. Option to come to floor and work on opening, or reach behind you for a half bind or a full bind if that's available. If you want to come into your bird of paradise, you can step forward with the back foot, come onto tippy toes, raise up. If this is something you've never seen before or something you don't like doing, you don't have to. It's just if you feel like you want to have a little play and you like doing that pose. We'll all come back and meet back in extended side angle. Hands come down to frame the foot. Come back and pose. Step back and flow, high to low. Breath in to come up. Roll the shoulders back. And exhale, down dog. So we straighten through the back now. Really push those hands into the floor and almost grip the mat like a little gecko. So it's a gripping action of the fingers. Inhale, come up onto tippy toes, and exhale, push through heels. Look between hands, step or jump between hands. Sweep hand behind you, breath in. Exhale, come up into thunderbolt or Utkatasana chair pose. So again, tilting, shoulders wrapping so they're inside the socket. They don't have to be up near the ears. Eagle pose, haven't done this one for a while. So right hand under left and right leg over. So hang on, right under, right leg over. And you don't have to have that foot around the back. It can be just out to the side or even onto the floor. What you want to look for is that your elbows are up off your chest and they're not down, hanging out down here. Nice and tall. Keep your arms, hold. Wobble if you need to, because if you fall out, just come back in. Inhale, we're going to reach up with that right leg, coming into stag, staying with eagle arms. Reach behind you into warrior three with eagle arms. Flex that foot, hips are even to floor. Gaze towards the floor. Now bend through that left knee, get long through that right leg to really with control step back into a lunge. Nice and deep. Inhale to come up into a crescent lunge. Maybe you open the chest. Elbows come back. Coming into warrior two with eagle arms. So turning towards, the hands come towards the center. This pose is called ostrich. Those of you of forest will know it. So we're just going to reach down with those eagle arms towards the floor, straight. Now this feels really weird at first, but the more you bend into that knee, so you're deep into the hips, and you bring the hips underneath the body, between the feet, the more you'll be able to get that hand towards the floor in that eagle pose. Definitely feels weird the first time you do it. Do stick with it because it's a great hip opener. A little intense, we can do it. One more breath. Inhale to rise up, open the hands, warrior two. Breath in and breath out, sink down. Half moon. Look where you want to go. Place your hand onto the floor. Raise up with the back foot into half moon. Maybe you can lift that left hand off the floor, or maybe you use a tall block. Flex that back foot, open the hips. Option here is to come into quarter moon, maybe grabbing that back foot and opening, coming into a back bend. Couple more breaths. You're doing great. As long as you're not eating your dinner yet, you're doing great. And releasing, coming into a forward fold, grabbing your elbows and rocking side to side. let that lower back hang. So if you're like me and you've started running again recently and you're quite tight, this is going to be a challenging class for you because it's quite challenging for me after getting back in my running. Place hands onto the floor, walk your feet together, sweep hands behind you, and exhale, come back into chair. Tilt tailbone, get deeper, squeeze your legs together. Inhale, lift the left leg up over the top of the right, hook it around, and left arm under. So left leg over, left arm under, coming into eagle. Push your elbows together to create some tension so that it makes it a little harder for your shoulders, and bring them up off your chest. Focus on something that isn't moving. Option to rest your foot on the floor on the opposite side if you are falling over a lot. Coming into stag, we're going to undo the left leg and lift it up high. Then exhale, sweep it behind you, coming into your warrior three with eagle arms. Flexing your back left foot, lifting it up with your glute strength. Hold it. You are doing great. Challenge, bend through that right knee. Get really, really low. Keep extending through that back left foot. Step back into lunge. Rise up, keeping your eagle arms, maybe a little back bend. Look up if it feels good for your neck and your back. Keep squeezing your glutes. Exhale, come back to center, take it slow. Come back to warrior two, back foot goes to floor. Keep your hands in eagle hands as we come down for ostrich. So we're bringing those hips under the body, bringing that hand towards the floor. Trick for me is to bring my glutes almost between my feet a little more, and it allows me to come down a little deeper. If you stick your booty out too much, it actually makes it harder. One more breath, and exhale to rise up. Open up into your normal warrior two. Open through those hips. Half moon. Look where you're going, ahead of you. You can use the block to help you if you want. Reach forward, place your hand on the floor, raise your back leg up, opening through the hip and stacking the top arm. Maybe you can come up to rise. Looking at the screen is getting me off balance. Quarter moon if you would like. So reach behind you. Maybe you can grab binding that back foot and opening into a back bend. Or if you want to work, just focus on hips, you can just bend the foot in towards the glutes. Hold for one more exhale. And then folding forward over the legs, grabbing the arms and allowing yourself to be soft. Maybe giving your head and neck a little shake. Stepping back, coming into high plank. An option to come down onto your knees. I've been pretty hard on you today, so you can come down to your knees. Exhale down to floor. Breath in, upward facing dog. Roll that chest open, squeeze the glutes. Exhale, tuck the toes, push up and back. Downward facing dog. Now you need a little bit of space for this next one. It's a new hip movement, and I'll try to explain it to you as best I can. We're going to come into a plank pose and bend that right knee and extend that underneath you but straight. So the right foot is in line with the hip. So you don't want it down towards your feet, you don't want it right up towards your hand, but in line with your hip. If you need to come onto your elbows, that is fine. Now from here, you're going to start to lower that hip towards the floor and slide your left foot back long. You're up on your toes. You're going to start to feel a deep stretch through the side of your leg here. If you're feeling it in your lower back, try to bring your right foot straighter, more towards your hands. And you will start to feel this in your hips pretty soon. If you feel like you want more strength, opposite hand, so left hand reaches forward and just gaze towards the mat. So this is using shoulder strength, core strength, and also stretching. Whew. Hold for 3, for 2, and for 1. Bring that arm down, step back into a downward facing dog, pedaling out the legs. Right foot forward into a deep lunge. Open the hips to the side for extended side angle with the hand on the floor, and we'll take a different variation. So again, we're bringing that elbow underneath the right knee. And you see here if you can gently invite your hips between your feet more. So rather than being behind you, you gently invite them straighter. And you just feel that hip really start to open. Some of you that are more open through the hips might actually be able to do the next version of this pose, which I can't do, but I'll say it for some people who may be able to do it. You might be able to reach over your head nice and long, if that feels quite comfortable for you. And you know you have open hamstrings and thighs and legs, you might be able to reach around the outside of the foot, start to straighten that leg out, which I can't do. Have a play. Some of you might be able to do it. For the rest of us, mortals, we'll stay here, opening our hips and relaxing our neck. Exhale, hands come down to frame the front foot. Step back and flow. Knees to the floor. Exhale, down. Inhale, upward facing dog, open the chest, and exhale, down dog, breath out. We're doing that weird hip thing again. So coming into plank, left knee goes towards right elbow, then straightening the leg underneath you so that your foot is about in line with your hip. Option to come onto your elbows if it's really hard on your wrists. And then from here, start to lower your hips towards the floor. Keep flexing your left foot. And you feel it through all down the side of your leg. Now, if this is not enough for you, you want to work on strength, you're going to reach the opposite hand, so the right hand forward, and then relax the neck towards the floor. So just chin towards chest and gaze towards the mat. This is intense. Keep holding. Couple more breaths. One more exhale. Hand comes down, pushing back into a downward facing dog. Breath out, push through heels. Left foot comes between the hands. Open into your extended side angle with the hand on the floor. Coming into the variation, left shoulder comes towards underneath that left knee. Hand on the outside of the left foot. Then from here, invite your hips forward and open your chest to the side of the room, reaching up. Pushing down through the blade edge of that back foot, inviting the hips forward and forward. Now this will feel like a lot for many of us, reaching over the head to get long. If that feels fine and you're really bendy, you might be able to actually grab the outside of that foot and extend it overhead, which I can't really do. So I'm just going to leave that for some of you who may be able to do that one. Reaching up, relaxing neck and head. Hands come back to frame the front foot, back into a low lunge, step back and flow. So options, knees to floor, high to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale into your downward facing dog. Look between the hands, knees between the hands gently. Coming to sit. We're playing with square or full pigeon. So those of you who know half pigeon from a lot of my classes, this is the full version of the pose, which I've never taught before. So I thought I would teach it this month for a little bit. See how you guys go. So the full version is you're having your toes slightly flexed and your shin is parallel to your knee, your left foot, and then your right shin goes on top, your right ankle goes on top of your left knee, actually just more on your quad rather than your knee. Flex your toe. Now this is already feeling super intense for me because my hips are tight. I'm going to remove some of that padding underneath my glutes on my sit bones. And this is about it for my full pigeon. To protect my knees, I'm going to place a block under my left knee to ensure that it doesn't go too far outside its range of motion. And I'm just going to work on gently opening that right hip so I can actually place my hands on my thighs and rotate them externally. And you can start to place your hands on the floor, even place blocks under your right quad, and then gently start to walk forward. Ross is really showing me up. You can't see him, but his head is pretty much on the floor with the double forward fold. He's pretty impressive. If your knees start to hurt, because it is a bit of stress on the knee, this pose, then please just place the right foot on the floor, so on the inside, and just do a square. Actually, no, put the right foot on the outside so that gently stacked, and then you can just fold forward from here, which you'll still feel a beautiful stretch in the glutes and the hips. It just won't be so intense on the knee. So if you can find a place that you can feel like you're releasing, but it's not so painful that you're just hating your life. It should feel like it's a challenge and it will grow, but nothing that's painful, like a sharp pain. And my theme of today is hope. And I feel like there's been times through the Rona roller coaster where I've lost hope because of how uncertain the future path is at the moment. And I find that these hip poses are a nice example of hope, because you know they're going to end and you know that this uncomfortable feeling is going to end. So you do always have that hope, and how important it is that we have that. So it also relates to life, that we also must hold on to hope and hold on to that thought that this will soon end. Gently coming up onto your hands, moving your blocks, coming into shoelace. So that right knee is stacked over the left and the feet are out to the sides, and you want to make sure that your hips are sitting in between. So a good way to do that is actually lift the left glute and move it over. So both glutes muscles are sitting on the floor, so that's not twisted, and you'll really start to feel the hips opening here. And then if it's available to you, you might want to start folding forward. If that doesn't feel good, then you just stay here and focus on breathing. And you'll be here for a couple of breaths. So I got you all fired up in the first half of the class, and then I'm giving you some deep hip work in this part. Walking your hands up from wherever you are. You're going to extend the left leg that's underneath you forward to being straight. That right knee is going to stay stacked over that left knee, and the top of the foot is going towards the side of the room or the floor. Remove that padding. Oh yes, we're going forward and fold here. So I know Mark and Russell, you're working on your forward fold, so this is going to feel pretty intense for you. So you just place your hands on the floor. Chin can come in towards the chest. I like to wiggle my toes a little bit to just release some of that tension of holding on. And just let the head bow and gently folding over the legs, allowing that gravity to just get heavier and heavier and build the pose for you. Last exhale. Walking your hands up, straighten both legs. So straightening out that right leg behind you. Coming into a reverse plank or at a reverse tabletop. So reverse plank, the legs are straight as you push your hips up towards the roof. If that's too intense, bend the knees and raise the hips up. Maybe look towards the belly or head falls back. It's quite a big pose, just a short breath. Exhale, releasing. And come into a little down dog. Flush out the legs before the other side. Feel into the hips and see one feels a little different. Knees down to the floor. What we do on one side, we have to do on the other side. So we're ready to go for full pigeon on the left. So this time, we have the right knee under and the left knee over. You're always going to have one side that is feeling happier than the other. For me, my left side feels a lot better. So I'm still going to place a block underneath my right knee to make sure that it's not going out on any weird angles. And this knee feels fine. I'm gently going to encourage the quad to open. So I'm not pushing on that knee. We should never push on the knee in this position because you can damage your ligaments. So you just gently open the quad muscle to the side. It's encouraging an external rotation of the femur from the head of the hip, but you're not bending into that knee. And then from here, maybe there's a fold forward, just an option. If it does feel like your knee is going too far, just place a block underneath the knee so it places something hard there to avoid it from going too far. And allowing yourself to be soft here. And see if you can let go of some of those extra muscles that are holding on. And bring that attention now to that object of hope from the start of the class. What was it that made you feel like there was something that you were looking forward to? What is the light at the end of the tunnel? What is that thing that makes you smile? Gently coming up onto your fingers and walking your hands in. We're going to bring that left leg the right leg straight so the left leg can come over the top and on top for log pile or knee pile, whichever way you want to call it. I'm going to remove that padding out so I'm sitting flat. I'm not twisting in my hips or sitting more on one glute than the other. Now, if your knees can't be almost stacked, just get close enough. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then you start to fold forward. You may have just a little bit of a fold forward and that feels very intense already through the back of the hamstring. So just honor that and stay where you are and support your weight with your hands. Letting your neck and head just be heavy. See if you can inhale, lengthen through chest and exhale to fold a little more. Gently walking your hands up, bending the knee, almost skipped one. We're going to bring it on the outside of the left glute and we're going to pile the knees on top of each other. And actually, if you support yourself by moving that right hip a bit further out to the right so that both of your glutes are sitting on the floor in between your feet, that's when you're going to feel this the most. And your knees are getting as much as possible stacked over each other. So you can see mine here and not quite there, and that's okay. As long as your hips are sitting in between and you start to feel a deep stretch on either side of your glutes, that's where you should feel it. Your knees should not be painful, so if they are, just come out a little bit of the pose. You can actually start to straighten one leg or just have a play. The knees are one thing that should never be painful. We have to look after them. Just stay here for a couple of breaths. If you do have a forward fold, you can find it. Allowing yourself to sink a little heavier for the last couple of breaths. Giving you that opportunity for deep release. So how we improve our flexibility is progressive overload. So pushing a little bit more each time. Gently walking the hands up and removing those legs, walking behind you, taking it slow, downward facing dog, and walk out those legs. Look between the hands, knees between the hands, coming down onto the floor. Come through a Navasana or boat pose. You can have knees bent or legs straight. And we're going to come down 1/4 and hold. Open that chest, squeeze the thighs together. 2/4 and hold. 3/4, hold, just hovering off the floor. And we'll stay here just a little longer just for fun. And then exhale all the way down. Little diamond underneath your hips. You're going to bring your hips up over bring your feet up over your hips, point your toes, and then come down 1/4 of the way down and start doing little kicks. Keep pointing through those feet and really straight through the legs. Another 1/4 of the way down, little kicks. Make sure that lower back stays on the floor. Another 1/4 of the way down, little kicks, pointing through those toes. Lower back does not lift. Keep using the core to hold you steady, and then exhale, feet to the floor. Bending the knees, bringing the feet in. Exhale, both knees over towards the right. Inhale to center, exhale, both knees over to the left. Inhale to center, coming into back bends. So if you have a block, place it between the thighs. We have 3 back bends, opportunity to deepen the back bend each time. So if you want to see progressions in your back bend, focus on deepening the back bend with activation, and then over time you'll be able to start upping each of your back bends each time. So tickle the backs of your heels, squeeze your block with your thighs, tilt your tailbone towards your heels, and push up. Interlace hands behind the back, push into the floor, roll the chest under. So keep squeezing that block, tilt that tailbone towards the heels, push through the heel, active through those quads and glutes. Super important to have enough strength first before we do any other type of back bend. To come out, remove the hands, slowly come down, upper back, middle back, lower back. Remove the block and windscreen wipe the legs. Second option, bridge with leg raises. If you want to stay with your other bridge, please do. Tickle the backs of your heels. Inhale to prepare. Exhale to rise. Hands behind you. Open the chest. Right hand to the center of the mat. Left knee into chest. Extending up. Flex the toe. Push the heel towards the roof. And activate through that right heel by pushing it into the floor and squeezing the glutes. Bend the knee. Lower the foot. Walk the left foot into the center of the mat and exhale the right knee into the chest, extending through that heel towards the roof. Keep pushing into the floor with your hands, opening the chest, active through that left glute to support your weight. Bend the right knee, lowering down, and releasing upper back, middle back, lower back to floor, and windscreen wipe the legs. Tractioning out that back. Last option to do leg raises or wheel, or if you've been doing wheel for a while, you might want to try some wheel leg raises. I won't do those today, I'll just do wheel. So tickle the backs of your heels so you're in the right spot. Option to also do a bridge with a block or a restful inversion if you feel like you need that today. Hands behind the head. Hands, fingers towards the body, elbows towards the roof. Inhale, prepare, and exhale, push up. So coming onto the tips of your toes or the balls of your feet will make it easier. Coming onto your heels makes it a deeper extension through the hip. Push through the hands, so the more that your arms are straight, the deeper the back bend. Keep squeezing through the glutes and pushing through heels. When you're ready to come out, chin comes towards the chest, bend through the elbows, and place your upper head and shoulders onto the floor and slowly roll down. lowering each vertebra. And then when the lower back's on the floor, you can gently move the knees to one side, breath into center, breath out to the other side. Come back to center, straighten through that left leg, and exhale, right knee into chest. Inhale over the top of the body, and exhale to twist, supine twist. Shoulders are even on the floor, torso is twisting. Inhale, come back through center. Straighten through that right leg, and exhale, left knee into chest, pulling up nice and tight. And over the top of the body. So after your back bends, this is really great for creating space in the back. Gently coming back to center and taking any last movements you feel you need. So maybe a happy baby to push that lower back into the floor. Anything you feel you need before your final deep rest. And when you're feeling ready, come back onto the floor. And see if for a point of focus you can bring attention to that object of hope that you had at the start of the class. And to feel how it would feel to have that right now. And you're welcome to stay a little longer in your Shavasana if you wish. But if you want to come out with us, you can gently start to wiggle the fingers and toes. Maybe licking the lips and gently moving the head from side to side feels good. When you're ready, bringing your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a little hug, maybe pull the knees up nice and tight and massage the sacrum by rocking gently from side to side. Keeping the eyes closed and gently rolling onto your side. And when you're feeling ready, you can gently push yourself up to a comfortable seated position with your hands resting on your thighs. Keeping the eyes closed and the attention inward into this space that you've created. And I'll close the class with a quote. There is a saying in Tibetan that tragedy should be utilized as a source of strength. No matter what sort of difficulties or how painful the experience is, if we lose our hope, then that is the true disaster. And that's from the Dalai Lama, who definitely went through his fair share of tragedies and difficulties in his life, more than any of us could ever really imagine. So for someone to say that is really powerful, like him. So namaste. I hope that you can find that hope. It is spring. It is getting close to the end of stage 4 for all of us in Melbourne. A lot to look forward to, a lot of hope and positive things coming our way, and we are so close to getting there. So if one thing's going to get you through the next few weeks, it is that we're getting closer to having a little more freedom in our life, and hopefully a little closer, maybe one little micro step closer to having people back in spaces in some point in the future, hopefully not too distant future. And I hope you enjoyed the class. Heavy on the hips, and I hope it was a nice stretch out for you. Tough on me after all my running. So I will see most of you on Saturday. Have a beautiful evening, guys.